Good afternoon, it's Andy Picken here from Man Beast on Saturday the 26th of August, which means it's one day away from the 2023 Peak District Highland Games at Matlock Farm Park. So what's been going on behind the scenes since the last video with the athlete changes, some replacements as well due to injuries and some of the competition congestion we get at this time of year in the season of strongman and strong women. So this is just a little quick preview of what's going on in terms of the athletes. So the events remain the same, 6 events, roughly starting at 11:15 with the bagpipe parade in the athletes into the arena, some sponsor announcements to introduce the show. Obviously myself, Andrew Picken, emceeing the day as well. So I'm having a rest with my voice today as much as possible, and to my partner's delight, being as quiet as I can to rest my voice for tomorrow. So as we stand, let's look at some of the replacements and the athlete roster for the Peak District Highland Games. So we've got some replacements in here. So unfortunately, the current champion, for those that have been following this Highland Games series for the last 8 years now, you'll recognise some of these names. Jake Rideout, winning the 2022 Peak District Highland Games. He's unfortunately out with an Achilles injury, so he's pending surgery on that. So best wishes, Jake, in your recovery. Excellent competitor, really stole the show last year in his performance, consistent throughout, and rightfully lifted that trophy. So Jake's out now, which opens up the field as well. That's not to say that Jake might have been pushed if he was in this one as well, because it was going to always be set to be a difficult show for everybody. But remember, we've still got Sean blazing. Sean came second in 2022. Log press is looking great as well, so he's improved on some of his weaker events, got the points on the board last year, and ran Jake quite close, to be fair. So Sean's still in. Great competitor to have on the show, and I think he's definitely one to watch. There's a couple, to be honest, and there's a couple of unknowns, and we love unknowns, because the great thing about the Highland Games is it's such a leveler for the athletes. That's the strong men and strong women. Some of the new ones that we get, and we always try and open up places for some newbies as well. So it's not a closed club. We have a loyal set of athletes, great, and you see them year in, year out, but we open up places to new athletes as well. And you can't discount them, because sometimes they come along and they just really adapt to those sort of events and do really well. So you can't discount them. And for others, it can be a real learn on the job experience. So they do it the first year, they know where the weaknesses are, they come back next year and they refine their technique and skill, etc., and come back better and stronger. We always start really early. So actually, before the spectators and crowd fans get there, the Man Beast crew probably there from 6:30, 7 o'clock, and also the athletes can come that bit earlier as well before the fans get there. And they all help each other out. So basically, if they're not tossed a caber before, they can have a practice of that. They'll get some hints and tips of some of the more experienced guys and women as well on that, to make sure that they're just au fait with the technique. So all the events will run to schedule. We open with the log press. There's a program on the day. Go on the Facebook Man Beast event pages as well for a rundown of the events. 6 events throughout the day. We've also got a few extras on this time as well. So we've got health checks by Royal Primary Care. So they're coming up. They're doing health checks for the crowd. There's loads of activities that the park put on around the events as well. So if you've got kids and stuff, there's lots to do up at Matlock Farm Park. There's inflatable jumping pillow. There's activities on all day as well between the events. But the show's such great experience as well, and there'll be stuff happening all day in terms of the Highland Games as well. So that's Jake Rideout out. So Jimmy Green's out as well. He's England's strongest man competitor, Britain's strongest natural man as well. He's out, so we've replaced him. I'll go through the replacements as well. Lewis Bucknell from Lincolnshire as well. It was going to be his first appearance. He's had some gold medals as well in deadlift, and does various charitable competitions up and down the country as well. Scott Moore as well. Scott been on the Peak District Highland Games for a couple of years, and he won Yorkshire's strongest man in July as well. So Scott were really a strong contender for a podium as well. Shame not to see Scott there. I know he's got to be missing it as well. But Scott has got another competition clash within a week of this, which he needs to prepare for, which gives some qualification spots as well. So he can't do that. Tom Holland as well. Little bit disappointed that Tom can't make it as well. Again, these are all legitimate reasons why they can't make it, whether that's through injury or competition clashes. But Tom came second at Yorkshire's Strongest Man as well. So he was a really great competitor actually to work with. I thought he was going to do really well in this. So that's the list as it stands of the athletes that are not there. But here are the athletes we've replaced them with. I'll run them through that and then just refresh where we are in terms of the other athletes in case you didn't see the other video. So Joe Bromley, 4th times Liverpool's Strongest Man, made England's Strongest Man finalist as well last year. He was actually due in the Peak District Highland Games. He had a class qualified for England. He went into that, so he didn't compete last year, but he competed in 2021. Strong contender. So that says it all. He's won Liverpool's Strongest Man 4 times at regional level, so he's got some calibre there. Matt Jackson, great lad. Matt Jackson competed at Rotherham Island Games and he's competed at the Peak District Highland Games before a couple of times, so his experience is coming on off the back of the Masters competition down in Gloucester. I think it's part of SCL. Saw that as well. Did really well in that competition. 4th place at Europe's Strongest Man Master 2022, so racked some good profile raising competitions there. 14th at Britain's Strongest Man Masters 2023 alongside Big Loz. There we go. I think that was the competition down Gloucester. So he comes in 5'11", 110 kilo, agile, quick as well as strong. I'm just going to run through the list here. Sean Blaise, I've already mentioned about Sean, came second last year. Definitely one to watch for a podium spot. And I tell you something, would not surprise me if he could steal the 1st place on this as well. Probably steals the wrong word, because if he gets 1st place, he'll earn it. Matt Cole as well. I put him up there with Sean as well. 3 times former UK's Strongest Man under 105. Experienced at Highland Games as well. Has been down Norfolk with us. He's been on this show before as well. And he's got the 2nd best time on the Peak District Dinny Stones as well in 2021 in his 1st appearance. What a time. He got well over a minute, absolutely smashed the field, grip tremendous. That's really good. We've got Chris Palmer as well, so some from Hull's Strongest over there. So these are last minute replacements. Thank you, Chris Palmer, for stepping in. 20 stone, 5'11" here. Just looking at some of his stats in front of me. 1st place at Doncaster's Strongest Novice, 2nd place at Hull's Strongest Opens. So that's a good competition there, and he's come 2nd, so he's going to be coming in. A brand new competition for him, but don't write these athletes off. Write them off at your peril, because sometimes they can just come in, split the field, and really, really shake up what you might think is going to be the last standing. Eddie Wilson as well. He's also from Hull Strongest. Thank you, Ben, for putting me in touch with these. One of the gyms we've been working with more this year over there as well. So Ben's been super supportive with Yorkshire's Strongest Man, and also brought these athletes in as well. So Eddie Wilson, 6'1", 123 kilo, YNEPF Northern 120k bodyweight winner. He's also got Spartan's Strongest 2021 Open 2nd place, BNSF Final 2nd place 2015 as well. Good resume. As you see with the Peak District Highland Games, we've filled this up with some local, regional talent as well, some national level sometimes as well, mix it about, but they're all good athletes, have all got plenty of experience behind them, and that's to make sure we produce a great show. Terry Harrison from Lincolnshire stands 6'7", due on the competition 2022. Couldn't make that one last minute, so I'm hoping he can make this one as well, because to me, he's a unit, he's strong. He hasn't done this before, but again, he could shake up the field, who knows? So we'll see how Terry does. Right there, Matt Thompson, great guy, Matt Thompson. You've seen him the last couple of years, improved year on year for me as well. I think he's got mid-table finishes there, so he's got a real opportunity to improve on those places as well. Andrew Lumley, now this is an interesting one, another under 105 there, sat with Matt Cole and Sean Blaise. Lumley's super strong, so he took the UK's under 105 title this year. I think he's been a contender for that for the past couple of years as well. He's been up there on the podium thereabouts. He's got better. I've seen the training routines from over Doncaster Carcroft, I believe, way as well. Trains out of Vikings gym in Doncaster that have been super useful for us as well. We've linked up with them more this year. They supply some equipment for us, really helped us out at Yorkshire's Strongest Man. So thank you, Vikings there. But Lumley, yeah. Who knows? It's his first show. He might need some bit of practice on the caber toss and stuff. The other things, the other events, log press is good on Lumley. I've seen that. He's going to be good on the stones, I think that's going to really suit him, to be honest, as it did Matt Cole. So that could be a really good one. The stone carry as well. I think he'll be super good at that. The pulling event, some of these guys that they lack some of the body weight of some of the bigger guys in terms of pulling an 8-ton tractor, but I think Emma Wilson proved in the women's at 10 stone she still was able to pull that tractor over half the distance against some of the heavier women there, so they can compensate for that body mass as well. So we'll see how Lumley does. Dave Johnson, great guy over in Lincolnshire, does loads for charity, probably a specialist vehicle puller. I'm going to call him that because he's pulled probably the most variety of vehicles of any athlete. He's pulled planes, he's pulled buses, he's pulled trucks, trailers behind the trucks, and all sorts of different machinery. I think that the plane was a really good shout there when he pulled that. So we'll see how Dave does coming back from injury. So I know he's been working super hard over the last few months. Loves this show as well. So thanks for coming along there. Mark Pearson, he competed last year, so he'll be competing with his now wife, Michaela, who will be in the women's category, obviously. So Mark, again, I think he proved his worth last year. Really good competitor, strong throughout, consistent. I think around mid-table, just under mid-table last time. Got a chance to improve on that. He's experienced now. He knows the event, so that should be really good. Got John Thor, and partner Emma Wilson as well in the women. So two couples there in the men's and women's, which are good. They did BBC Derby radio interview on Friday, which was yesterday, 25th of August. Great interviews as well. If you want to watch it on BBC iPlayer, tune into the radio there. I think they did a live caber toss there, and they were having some banter backwards and forwards with the radio host there. So they've been really plugging the Peak District Highland Games for us, which is absolutely great. And I think, just looking at my list now for the men, I think that concludes the men with three more to go. Just updating my list there. So Mark Stevenson back again, won Rotherham's strongest man last year. Fan turned athlete, as we know. He came and saw these games, was inspired by them, got into the strongman, worked his way up through novice, under 105 various categories, now competing in this. So he's quite experienced, to be fair. Now he's done the Highland Games a lot, earned his place at Rotherham, earned his place into this. So I think Mark will do pretty well as well. We've got Miro Miroslav Holiday here. He's a big guy as well. So he's 126 kilo, Hull strongest man 2022, 2023. Competed at Yorkshire strongest man as well. Did good, held his own. And to me, talk about racking up competitions. I've known him do one competition on a Saturday and another competition on the Sunday, and then another weekend he's got another competition on. So he doesn't have too much time between competitions to rest up. I don't know if he has had a little break between some of the competitions and this, but if he has had a good break, a restorative break, and he comes in shape, fully energized, he could be a really strong contender around about that podium, just outside it. So it'll be absolutely brilliant. So going to the women now, Michaela Pearson. So she won it last year. It looks as though she could do really well in this as well. So we've got one or two new competitors in, but I thought Michaela did fantastic on all of the events as well. She earned that, so that was really good. We've got Libby Smith as well. She trains at Vikings in Doncaster. Been tipped off and been watching Libby through a coach of what she's been doing. She's fourth at England's Strongest Pro Show, second at England's Most Powerful 2022, and joint second in 2023. So racking up some national titles there in her division. It'll be new for her again. Peak District Highland Games, there'll be some new events on there for her, so it'll be a case of learning on the job, but that doesn't mean that she can't surprise it and shake up that field. So I'm looking forward to seeing Libby's performance on that as well. We've got Laura Hollywood, so she's a new one, second UK Natural Strongwoman 2023. I know Laura's super excited about coming on the show, and I know she'll have a great day, because for the athletes, there's a fantastic show. It always is. Crowd really electric up at Matlock, which adds to the whole atmosphere. It really is all the athletes, all the men and the women. So actually, sometimes they beat their own personal best, just the way the crowd gets behind them. So it'll be interesting to see how Laura does there. We obviously have Kim Howell's back. So Kim stepped in actually really short notice last year into the Highland Games. Great competitor to work with. I thought she did really well on her first go, and I know she's active on the strength scene as well. She's competing, I think, South Yorkshire Strongest Woman, etc. So Kim, again, just like the guys, she's got a chance to improve now. She knows the event. She's already done one set of all the events in the last show, so she could build on that, and she again could shake that field. There's only 5 women, remember, so you only need to be improved by 2 places. You've been at the bottom and you can be touching podium on that. Reason why we only have 5 is because it's a big show, 12 or 13 men in it. So run the women's alongside the men as well, which is really good. So they all benefit from the crowd of the strong woman. Just in general, nationally, it's had a massive resurgence. It's so popular now with strong woman, and it's great to see. Now Emma Wilson, 5'4", 60 kilo, so 10 stone, under 10 stone there. We're a great competitor. She held the longest on the Dinny stone, which is just 1 stone. The men hold 2 stones. The women hold 1, so they can double grip it and hold it for time. Emma but won that event. She was quick on the stone carry as well. She even did really well at the tractor pull, and that were an hard one at 8 ton. First time went 8 ton last year with the women. She did really well on that as well. So really looking forward to seeing Emma, and of course she was on BBC Radio Derby as well, plugging the show. So that's a full list of the athletes, the men, some of the changes I've gone through and some of the replacements as well. But I think what I can guarantee, and it's not just me saying this, but the whole team at Matlock Farm Park and at Man Beast Production who work up this show can say you're in for an absolute fantastic show as always. Watch out, choose your favourite strongman, your favourite strongwoman, get behind. We will be opening up photo opportunities as well throughout each event. We always do that. Should the schedule allow, we'll have a tug of war with the kids as well. We always try and do that. We always have managed to fit that in, and can't see why that would change. I think it's going to be a little bit wet tomorrow afternoon, so we'll just adapt a little bit with that with some of the events, but they shouldn't change. It looks like it's going to be fairly dry in the morning, so we'll definitely get the tractor pull out of the way when it's dry, just with the grip that's needed for that. And we'll also have some Man Beast t-shirts as well for sale for the public. We have a limited amount. We've been asked year on year if you can buy the t-shirts and stuff. So if people do want to buy the Man Beast t-shirts, unfortunately, we've only got them in adult sizes. We have got small adult size. I know the kids love them as well. Our supplier doesn't do that yet. So we have got a selection of 30 or 40 t-shirts as well that people can buy on the date if they want. So we're in for a super day. Enjoy your Saturday, and if you are coming up to the show, you'll see me. I'll be stuck on that microphone all day. It'd be great to see you. Come up and say hello at some point in the day. We'll have a quick chat with you. Enjoy your Saturday. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow at the Peak District Highland Games 2023.